The opposition MPs of AFC and APNU blundered on the budgetary allocations to the Chetty Dragon International Airport expansion project, proposing cuts that exceeded the amount budgeted for the transformative project. A major flaw was identified as APNU and AFC laid similar motions to cut the allocations. Faced with the option to cancel out the grossly inaccurate proposal to cut, the opposition in turn voted against the entire $5.6 billion allocated to the transport sector, ignoring cautions that such actions could hamper critical works like the rehabilitation of hinterland and coastal airstrips, the purchase of installation for aviation equipment, and the Ogle Airport expansion project.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against?
No. Stakeholders in the aviation sector and those optimistic about the future of the business and tourism sectors in Guyana are deeply perturbed.
There's no reasonableness to this action in Parliament, and I was stunned. I was actually stunned and speechless for a while, having read it this morning. But I understand very clearly the opposition vested interest is politics, and that's the only way I could even explain it, because the consequence of doing this, is mind-boggling. The consequence to the image of our country, the consequence to aviation safety, the consequence to tourism. It's to quantify the damage that what is going on in Parliament will do to our country, to the economy of Guyana, compounded by what is happening. In fact, what is happening in Guyana here in our Parliament is compounding what is already an international volatile situation in terms of commodity prices, gold prices, rice prices, and so on. And so what we are doing here in our Parliament, and for people's political vested interests, it will have tremendous consequences on the economy of Guyana in terms of investor confidence, in terms of visitors to our country, and particularly this issue with the transport sector. I am stunned. I mean, the airport project is such an important project to Guyana, such an important project to the face of Guyana, such an important project for us preparing to meet the future that's a bright future with a lot of economic prospects. And what we are doing here is unspeakable. It's unspeakable. We are, but I haven't had the opportunity to speak with the opposition. We did speak to the AFC as a member of the Private Sector Commission. I spoke with the AFC, and I was assured that anything they do will be done from a position of reasonableness. I was assured that the notice paper that was laid in Parliament was not meant to be executed like it was. It meant that if they had reasonable answers, which I believe that the opposition, the government should give the opposition reasonable answers. I believe that issues of accountability and transparency is important, and I think the government is obligated. Government is obligated to answer the opposition from an issue of transparency and accountability. And when those answers are given, I believe the opposition also have a responsibility to the people of this country, that if they want to cut the budget, that they need to give us an explanation why they're doing it.
It's unfortunate. I'm personally very disappointed at the cutting of the budget to rebuild the new airport. I am aware that a feasibility study was done and was handed to many of our participating parliamentarians. I am also aware that Guyana's flight into the future depend heavily on this new airport. Only last week we had a meeting with the stakeholders of the airport. There are over 60 businesses that operate at the airport, and we were very enthusiastic in terms of them telling us what it is they expect to do at the new airport facility, and in fact how their businesses are going to grow. It's extremely unfortunate, and I would appeal to our opposition parliamentarians to perhaps rethink what they have done. What is a little disturbing to me is the sanctity of contracts, though. In the case of the airport, a contract was signed, a loan was given to Guyana by a bank, and the opposition, in fact, approved this loan 1 year ago. There are huge costs that are associated with reversing that process. If we are in breach of the contract, if we are in breach of the loan agreement, if we have to send the contractors home, there are costs that will be applied to all of those reversals. And in fact, I wonder how much thought has gone into all of this, and whether in fact any thought has gone into all of this. For me, the sanctity of contracts is a big issue in this regard. Our international reputation will be damaged beyond a point that perhaps it will take 10 years to repair.
The economy is being driven by the mining sector. You must have good transport facilities. You must be in a position to fly people out if they're sick or injured. And that depends on good airstrips, good support. There's too great a risk. Where the international airport is concerned, we've already had a problem there, and we need to extend that runway as an absolute priority. And we've got to be more forward focused. Looking at commodity prices, and Guyana's exports are all commodity based. Gold has fallen from $17.30 an ounce down to, it dropped as low as $13.80 2 days ago. It's come back up a little bit, $14.20 this morning. The sugar prices have been falling, bauxite prices are falling, while the aluminium prices have certainly dropped considerably. So there's a tremendous pressure on the economy, and you need to have money circulating through these projects in order to drive a short-term slowdown, to avoid a short-term slowdown. So there are two aspects to all of this. And I hope that there will be a reversal of these decisions.